Yo, what's up, YouTube? Today is something that's going to be a little bit more constructive criticism. However, if you have not watched the video that I released yesterday on the top 3 positives of Legion that I've seen so far that's been introduced into the expansion, be sure to check that out first. Check that video out first, watch through all of that, get those points, and then come back to this video, okay? But today we're going to be talking about the anticipated top 3 negatives of Legion. So my top 3 things that I feel didn't go so well that was introduced into this expansion, and it's only patch 7.2, so we're halfway through the expansion right now. We're not quite at the end. It's not like a recap of the Legion's entire expansion, but these are the the top 3 things that I feel were not healthy for the game environment and the community overall. So jumping right into it, I do want to talk about my very first point, and that's going to be artifact knowledge. Okay, so artifact knowledge, for all of the people who don't currently play Legion that you're thinking about getting back into it, artifact knowledge is something that allows you to get more artifact power over time. It's something that is only available every 5 days, so you press a button and 5 days later you come back and it basically time gates how much power you can increase on your weapons. And that makes me not want to play, honestly, sometimes. Because on Tuesday, when all of the raids reset and all of my arena quests and all of my pretty much everything in the game, since everything in the game that's challenging to a point, or that you do, is it all gives artifact power. So I wouldn't ever, I can't even open my Mythic Plus cash that I earned last week on Tuesday because the artifact power doesn't, it could be powerful in 3 days. If I just wait for 3 days, I would get more artifact power from opening the same chest that I would open on last Tuesday. And it's super demotivating to log into the game and feel like I should not be playing the game until Friday. And I feel like artifact knowledge is the core essence for that. But I don't want this video to be completely negative. I want to offer my constructive criticism if it's possible. And I feel like the constructive criticism for the artifact knowledge system, I'm cool with getting more power over time. And I like that you don't have to farm out 100 artifact levels in order to be competitive, and that's time gated, so it's nearly impossible. I like that, but I think that the intervals of time is not quite aligned with how the community plays, and it's really a simple fix. I feel like every single player that plays the game should receive an artifact knowledge level on Tuesday whenever it resets. I feel like you should be able to walk into your class order hall and pick it up whenever the weekly reset happens so that people can play the game when they want to, not whenever they lined up their artifact knowledge or whenever the catch-up mechanics are happening or whatever. I don't like having to wait till Saturday or Thursday or Friday based on when my artifact knowledge is happening, the next artifact level comes up. I don't like having to wait until I can spend all of my time doing normal night hold just for the artifact power. It's extremely inconvenient for a player to have to wait till Friday, because honestly, I want to go outside on Fridays, but maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe I don't have any reason to go outside, so I can just sit home and play WoW all day. There's so many reasons, or people with jobs, you don't always have time to do that whenever the artifact knowledge resets, so you actually are at a disadvantage just because of the schedule that the game has given you. And I feel like overall that's unhealthy. So my solve for that is really just give everybody 1 artifact level or 2 artifact knowledge levels and scale it appropriately on Tuesday so that everybody's on the same playing field. And that would solve so many problems in the game, in my opinion. It solved the catching up system, where people that started the game late could get up to speed faster. I just feel like it should be a region-wide thing, because the goal of the artifact knowledge system is that so over time you are able to unlock power that is not currently available, so you don't have to farm out all of those levels at once. That's how I feel about it. And moving on to the second point is going to be the all-infamous legendary system that has been so controversial to Legion's existence since it ever started. Legendaries, in my opinion, were actually a positive to the game. As a mage that received a lot of different legendaries, I think I've got 7 or 8 now, and I was lucky enough to receive the Fire Mage Bracers for my very first one, which back when the game first launched, Fire Mage Bracers were extremely popular. This was my only legendary, and I was really excited to have it, but it also changed the way that I play and allowed me to be more powerful in different situations than other mages without that legendary, right? So my problem with legendaries is just that there's that interaction that I see so often where people are oh, like I got the worst one. Like that sucks. That's awful. That's an awful interaction. I would hate to spend 3 weeks of my time trying to farm my legendary to get one that I don't like. And that's actually happened to me quite often. I've gotten the mage boots. I've gotten the mage chest, which I'm wearing right now. I've gotten Safuza's secret. And while I was lucky enough to get the BIS legendaries, a lot of people aren't, and it makes their character basically useless in a competitive environment. So the overall solve for this is actually very simple. Allow for targeting on legendaries. I think that there's a lot of legendaries that are really cool that you can acquire over time as the expansion plays out longer. Like over 4 patches, you're probably going to get upwards of 10, 12, 15 legendaries if you're lucky and work hard. But the problem is that there's always going to be better legendaries than others. And it's important that people have the ability to acquire the ones that they want first. And that takes away that negative interaction of being super sad when you get a bad legendary after working so hard for one. But it also continues the same interaction where people are very positive and excited and happy, like, oh, I just got that, PogChamps in the chat. Like, it's awesome whenever you get that great legendary that you worked hard for and you feel lucky about getting, but it takes away the negative reaction of not getting the one, and that salty reaction of whenever you worked hard for it and still not getting the one, or maybe not getting the one on the second time or the third time that you wanted it and you still got the wrong legendary. That goes away by being able to just target the legendaries you want, keep the same type of rarity with the legendaries and the same type of, I guess, RNG type system, which is fine, but I just want people to be able to get the ones that they want. That's the middle ground that I'm speaking to right now. So hopefully, I do hope that Warcraft devs are watching this, because I feel like this is something that pretty much everyone can agree on. And then last but not least, this one I'm kind of torn between. I enjoy some parts of it, but I don't enjoy a lot of parts of it. And I think I definitely know what the last topic is, but I just have some, I guess, things that I want to bring up and thoughts that I want to kind of unveil on camera. And that last one is going to be Titan Forging and the maximum item level system that's currently in the game. So with all that being said, currently in the game, you have the ability to acquire a piece at any points, whether it's from the emissary caches that you get from like daily quests, arenaing, RBGing, raiding, mythic dungeons. You can get this base item level, and then it can Titan Forge 15, 20 levels up, or even like higher than that if you're super lucky. And I feel like this overall has been good and bad for the game. So I would say I want to bring out the positives first. The positives of Titan Forging is the fact that people continuously engage in doing content that they normally wouldn't. So what I mean by that is that people do heroic Nighthold. Mythic level raiders in previous expansions, they would never do the heroic version of the raid because there's no point in doing it. I mean, other than like AP, I guess. But the problem is that like people do heroic, or not a problem. The positive is that people like continuously play the game and play different types of the game, different levels of difficulty in order to get that Titan Forge, in order to get that chance of getting a good piece of gear. The negative of it is the fact that like I'm 916, 917 item level whenever I put my PvE gear on. This is just, my other gear with random legendaries and PvP gear. But the problem is that like on a regular, like I don't really, like I have to just play the game and just hope that it gives a Titan Forge. And hope that I just get like a better piece of gear. And I feel like that's not really like the way that I want to spend my time. Like it's really discouraging whenever I think about heroic Nighthold, and I'm just like, yeah, I guess I'll just go do heroic Nighthold and hope that a gear piece Titan Forges. Like hope I get the right gear piece, and then I hope it Titan Forges, and then I hope it Titan Forges well. Like that is a lot of different things that I don't want to have to deal with. And I think the solve for that is actually just making the ceiling for what base item level pieces you can get just, I guess, better, like more difficult or more goals oriented, or whatever that really means. Is that like instead of like, for example, arena, I'm trying to clarify my thoughts. For example, arena right now, if you get to 2400, you get a 910 base item level piece, but the maximum item level is currently 925, and it's going to be raised even higher whenever the Tomb of Sargeras comes out. And the problem with that is that I can never achieve 925 item level. That's okay, but what I think would be a really awesome addition to the game is if people actually could attain 920 gear, and it's really hard to get there. So like you have to be 2700 rated to get 920 base item level gear. or just having more goals available. So maybe you have to get 2500 to get 912 or 914 or whatever it is item level gear, and then just being smaller intervals, and more rewarding and more abilities to get that base item level, so that you're not always playing the slot machine at a certain point. That's pretty easy to obtain, honestly. Like, I can get to 910 item level by playing arena pretty quickly, so like even from a base level character. And I think that if you're gonna have a max level thing where it's 925, but the only rating base item level is like 900 to 910ish, then I think that people really do need a ability to get higher base item level and make Titan forging less effective, but still worth having. So allowing the different types of items to still Titan forge, but maybe only Titan forge 2 to 4 item levels. Maybe not quite as drastic as 20 item levels, because the difference between 20 item levels is absolutely insane. And I would love to see that stuff kind of change, so that's why I'm voicing my opinion. I think that the Titan forging RNG system's cool because you can get that upgraded gear and you can get that positive reaction, but I think that it's so relevant in the current community that it actually brings people down whenever they think about, oh wait, I can't really get any higher base item level. Like myself, like I can't really get any higher base item level. I just have to keep doing the same stuff that I've always been doing in the lower difficulties, because maybe one day it'll actually, land on a lucky roll and I'll get a high piece of item level loot, and that's like super worth it. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. I hope that you did enjoy this video. I hope that I did shed some light on some important topics, and if you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and also comment down below with your thoughts, and I will see you guys all tomorrow for a brand new video. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already for that new video. It's down below. It's the red button. Thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.